Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Podcasters. If you're listening to this, what's up? What is up? Hey, it's going to be a fun month. I have a couple fun episodes planned up for the next couple weeks. If you're watching this, which, by the way, if you're listening to this, hit pause, get the hell over to YouTube if you're able to. Don't do it while you're driving. I've done that before. That's very dangerous. Don't do that while you're driving. But do it when you're out of the car. Head on over, and you'll see that I have a guest today, and he is currently miming
a little bit
this.
of pantomime in there, go along with the puppetry.
There we go, pantomime, and that's what I was trying to get with it. As you can hear, joined by some familiar voice.
Hello there, Anthony. Good to be here with you, my friend.
I have to ask, what is your favorite color?
Well, I have to go with a green, the color green, just like our shirts that we happen to be wearing. Well, actually, I'm not wearing a shirt. I'm always green. This is not a red-headed man in glasses. It's actually Kermit the Frog himself. And if Disney says otherwise, don't listen to him.
That is right. That is right, because we got the YouTube channel up, and I have an awesome guest today. It is Ricky Downs. You have it listed as the third, so do you?
Yeah, Ricky Downs the third.
Ricky Downs the third. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very blunt with you. Up till about, let's see, when did I message you last? Was that Sunday night?
I think so. Sunday night, I got a message from
up until
Mr. Mullen.
Yeah, Sunday night. No, it was Saturday.
Okay, Saturday itself was.
But like Saturday night and like that whole point.
He slid into my DMs, folks.
I had no idea who you were.
That's okay.
If someone would have asked me any time before that, I'd be like, I don't know who that is. But the reason I found out about you is because my girlfriend has been watching Hamilton for the past 2 weeks nonstop.
Haven't we all?
Well, now I have been. And I kind of had this mentality of, I don't want to watch it because everyone's telling me I should watch it. And
yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And then I heard a album of it that was not yours first. It was one that was a fan album. I was like, okay, maybe I'll get into this lyrics. Because they did like a parody. It was all like nerdy D&D stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay, gotcha.
It got me into like the beats, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll watch the show now. So I watched the show. And I'm like, wow, this is actually a good musical. But I'm not a big fan of like, okay, it's not bad, but, I prefer the other soundtrack. Until I found your video on YouTube.
Okay.
That was Hamilton done as the voices of the Muppets.
Yes, that's right. I re-recorded the entirety of Hamilton as the Muppets.
All right.
Help.
I gotta ask, first off, why Hamilton and why the Muppets?
Okay.
And why now?
So, wow, great questions. Probably rammed all three in one. Very good. So I guess we have to go back in time a little bit because I was in Hamilton much earlier before Anthony was. I got on that boat in 2016 when they because 15 is when the play came out on Broadway. Mm-hmm. And Hamilton Fever, I think, kind of caught on at the tail end of 2015. And in 16, I saw the Grammys, the title opener. Like, I got to check this out because I'm a theater person. I did in high school, I did a stage crew, and in college, I was performing a lot and comedy stuff. So I've always been a theater person. Mm-hmm. But I heard about Hamilton. It's this, you got to check it out. It's crazy. It's crazy good. And then I got into it in 2016, became obsessed like pretty much every theater kid. Mm-hmm. And the Muppets, it really just came from like a joke on Facebook. Like, the Muppets, because I've always been a Muppets fan. I love the Muppets. Yeah. I did a Facebook status like, oh, this is how I cast it. But the joke was that I had Leslie Odom Jr. would stay Aaron Burr. He'd be the one human person. And all the Muppet adaptations, like Tim Curry is Long John Silver and Michael Caine is Scrooge in Christmas Carol. So It was just a joke. It was just a joke I put in 2016. Also that year, as a bit, because I was a little bored, I did Miss Piggy Sings Helpless, which I thought, oh, that could be kind of funny. And I had a very tiny YouTube channel. It did all right, like 800 views. Which,
hey, that's still something.
It's still something. And then the idea pretty much went away for years. And then, I heard Disney, and I'm now in quarantine. I live in New York, so it was pretty bad. It was really bad for us in New York. I lost, unfortunately, both my day. I am a voice actor, but I do have as pretty much all actors in New York do, we do have day gigs. I lost both of them in the quarantine. So I was just at home, like really with nothing going on except auditioning for freelance stuff and whatnot. And voice acting became so, I feel like, because all the actors, all the performers were just at home now, and a lot of them got into voice acting, so the market became kind of overflooded, and I was getting a little disgruntled because despite auditioning a lot, I just could not find work for like all of May. I was just like really angry, and I wanted to do something like, I gotta create something. I need like content. So
right.
yeah, I need an idea. I need to do something. I need to like, kind of just
I need a project.
Yeah, an idea. And so Disney Plus announced, imagine that, the Marvelous Miss Minnie. And so Disney Plus announced that they're going to release Hamilton on Disney Plus. Well, Disney also owns the Muppets, and I can do pretty good impressions of the Muppets. What if we go back to that little joke status we made and go full out, just do it all. Just do it all. And I came in myself, you know what, let's do it. It's going to be nuts. I doubt anybody's going to care about it, but let's give it a try. All of June, recorded Act 1, dropped it on the day Hamilton dropped on Disney Plus, went viral pretty much not overnight. It was about a week where it's just like, it's doing a little better than most of my videos, but still, okay. It's like in the it's got a couple hundred views, and then I don't know how it took off. It took off somehow.
How did it feel
Well,
when you weren't expecting it? And then there must have been one day when you went onto YouTube and, oh, wow.
Yeah, now I remember what it was. So the first week, it was just, okay, I made a fun video. Oh, this is getting a little more traction than most of my usual videos. All right, maybe I hit something. Maybe I'll get a couple. You know what? If I can get like maybe 10,000 views, I'll be happy. That means, I did something really, that people like. And then I think it was that Sunday. Broadway World had published it in their massive publication. They have on Facebook alone, they have like 600,000 followers. So they had published it, and they're like the main Broadway kind of fan site hub. And like, oh, that's big. And then And then the day after that, Philip DeFranco made it his secret leak of the day, and the viewership just spiked within that little analytics
that moment.
Yeah, like 200 3,000 4,000 5,000, and it was like, what's going on?
You're like, something happened.
Yeah, what's happening? And then after that, it just snowballed into then Nerdist published it, Screen Rant gave a shout out to it, Geeks and Sundry did, celebrities were tweeting it on Twitter. I had a shout out from Cory Doctorow, who's a writer and activist. Yvette Nicole Brown from Community, and Drake and Josh, she tweeted it. The creator Invader Zim tweeted it. So it was just like, what did I touch? How did I get into the zeitgeist of the internet?
You tapped into a market that everyone just kind of gravitated towards, because I think you timed it perfectly. If you were dropping it on quarantine, it's it right now.
Yeah, Hamilton is back in the popular pop culture discourse. The Muppets have always kind of been there. They're kind of an evergreen property, so they're never really going away. They also have a new show that just came out, so I think that helped out a lot. So just like that, I kind of got onto that, and then that was Act 1. Act 1 went viral. It's somewhere in the millions now.
Yeah.
And then I went back to do Act 2 at the end of the month. And originally, I was planning to do Act 2 way later. Maybe in election day I'll do it. That'll be kind of topical. Yeah. But my brother was like, "No, Ricky, you gotta strike while the iron's hot." I'm glad I did, because Act 2 is pretty. It doesn't have the same numbers as Act 1 has, but kind of with viral videos, it's hard to make lightning strike twice, I feel. But nevertheless, despite it's right now around 250,000, so about 250,000 at this point. But despite that, it has over half the amount of comments and likes. So that means, what tells me is the people that liked Act 1 came back and loved Act 2.
Oh yeah.
That's how I feel. And it's also a big one, is it went viral on TikTok. There were TikTok people the TikTokers were playing the Disney Plus of Hamilton on their TV while they played lip syncing, so it seemed like they were talking with the Muppets. That was also a big draw.
So I will say right there, I did that the other day.
Oh, you did?
Girlfriend. We were sitting there, we're like, oh my god, this is awesome. We lip synced it when not Jefferson. Oh my gosh, Lafayette comes walking out with Fozzie, and I was like,
Ah, oui,
yes.
oui, mon ami, Lafayette, the Lancelot of the revolutionary set. I came from afar to say bonsoir to the king. It's the best chez toi. Say, waka waka.
Yeah, no, I've seen. I don't know. I've seen it, and like that was the big one. TikTok
That's
really.
so cool.
They really were them along with the Philip DeFranco. I feel like they were the ones that really made it crazy. They took off. They took to it. I really appreciate anybody who's been on TikTok and using that, and they have my full blessing to make animatics, dance smashes, whatever you want. I love it. I love it all.
I never would have thought to it. You see these things, these little projects, these little one-offs of just like, let me have fun with this, and boom, it blows up.
Yeah.
And you just tapped into this niche, this two creative properties that people are both loving, and you just right timing, right moment.
Yeah,
You struck
definitely.
when it was perfect. And I love it that you did follow up and you didn't wait for a second act, because I didn't realize, when I had it, or when I started listening to it, I got to see both of them. Had I been one of the people the first week or the first month that you dropped it and be like, wait, where's the second one? I probably would have been a little like antsy waiting for it.
Yeah. No,
So
I think it was like a 2-week interval. It came out. Act 1 was July 3rd. Act 2, I think, was July 21st. So that's only like 3 weeks, but it was like me grinding through 3 weeks to get that thing done. Act 2 was a challenge. That was I was up to like 1 a.m. every night, like editing and recording during the day. But it was very much very, very fulfilling, because I don't know how you feel, Anthony, but like I think Act 2 came out. I think that actually came out a little better than Act 1. Maybe just because I had the relief of like, you did it once, so now we know what the kinks are, what we need to do a little bit better. And just in general, I thought it was a little more rewarding to like be under that time constraint, and like it had that.
I'll say, I prefer a lot of the songs from Act 1, just because I think that maybe sometimes that happens on records and music.
Yeah.
There's always like a side to or a first half or a second half that you're going to favor. But I understand what you're talking about. Second act is that you could tell certain voices you found more polished. Like it wasn't just.
Yeah, Gonzo in particular, I felt like I really because that was there's a little in Act 1 I think it was a little high pitched. Act 1, how does a bastard orphan, and then by Act 2 I found a little better. It was like, how does a bastard orphan son up? Yeah, it's a little better I think in Act 2. Yeah, and I think the personalities also shined a little bit more in Act 2 as well. Not to say they didn't in Act 1, because that was what I was surprised most about, was that I had these little, if you haven't listened to the album, I worked in throughout both acts, and for pretty much every song, I tried to incorporate like little Muppetisms. They would have like little deviations from the script, little jokes, Fozzie being Lafayette, and Kermit chimes in,
Fozzie, you're rushing, slow down. Really? I thought it was French.
and that was a hit.
It's stuff like that, though, that I think makes it unique and gives that laugh, that comedic relief of, all right, you're not just ripping off you didn't just rip on it. You made it into them. You brought the Muppets into it, and you breathed it in that
definitely.
life. You didn't just say, oh, I'm going to rewrite this and change the key and give some voices. No, you brought characters to this that were not there presently. So I want to ask, how did you start to identify? Did you follow the list that you originally thought of casting?
That's a great question, and no. Some were the same. Kermit was always going to be Hamilton. Piggy was always going to be Eliza.
Okay.
Fozzie was always going to be Jefferson and Lafayette. Just for the Lafayette line alone, that's too perfect. You can't undo that. Rolf was always Madison and Mulligan. I originally had Scooter as Lawrence, and I decided to go with Beaker because I think there was a little more comedic potential with Beaker. And that paid off handsomely, because Beaker is very, very popular with the fans. They seem to love Beaker.
Whenever I've had anyone playing, I think that's when Amber broke. She's my girlfriend. She's listening, and she's like, "Oh, this is great, this is great." And then Beaker breaks, and she just lost it. She's like, "Oh, my gosh."
Like, not only that, Robin, Kermit's nephew, if you know the Muppets, was going to be Philip. I have intended that, but then like Beaker just took off, like acting like, oh my god, Beaker was the best. So like, I gotta bring Beaker back as Philip, and I'm really glad I stuck to that dual casting, because They love Beaker and like Blow Us All Away and Stay Alive Reprise. Like he got like I think the highest amount of comments of just like, oh my God, Beaker's the best. Yes, Beaker was amazing. Gonzo actually in that original Facebook joke status, I said he would be Angelica in drag, but then I decided, which would have been interesting, but then
It would have been different.
Yes, but and that was because Leslie Odom Jr. was going to retain his role as Adam Burr, my joke status. But then I decided, well, obviously you have to have Gonzo be a lead, so he's going to be Aaron Burr, and he's got that, kind of like I could see him doing it. I think he's got the gusto that you need for that role. Camilla, I needed a lady, so was Angelica. Again, much like Beaker, I had no idea that would be it's quite the hit. But man, if there's ever a song people single out, it's Burn. People love Miss Piggy's rendition of Burn, and Camilla's Satisfied. That people just go bananas. Something about going. I remember recording that, just in my room. And like, this is the stupidest thing anybody's ever done. Why am I doing this?
It's like 10 minutes of squawking.
Yeah, exactly. Just like little. And Satisfied's a hard song to do. So that was like 3 hours of balking and on a microphone. And what am I doing with my life? I need to reconsider things. And I'm glad I did it because people really, really. That song in particular, people go bananas. They go chicken for Camilla. And then and Animal is always going to be King George. Again, people love that.
Oh, King.
Oceans rise.
I love. I was always waiting. Every song was like, all right, let's see who's coming next.
Yeah.
And Animal I didn't see coming because I didn't realize you did a cast list below.
Yeah,
initially.
The cast list is in the description. Yeah.
I see that now. So I didn't know that. So I'm just waiting like, all right, I know who King George is. Let me see. And it kicks off and it's like, oh my God. Oh no. It's so abrupt. And at the end where he just starts shouting, you do fall off, but it feels more Animal and just kind of just sporadic. And
Animal need throat massage.
You really do. You make all these so unique that you can listen to these songs, and yes, they're the same songs, but they're not.
Yeah, no, I try to definitely.
So, did you do this like with the backing music tracks, or did you?
Yeah. So how I did was that I went to a karaoke site, got them all there, and I would play the actual song in my like an ear I had on my headphones while singing. It was kind of like karaoke. I sang along with it. There were times where like I did have to just do it on my own with just the instrumentals because for whatever reason it just wasn't computing. But no, that's how I recorded, pretty much singing along with the actors and then and whenever necessary to sing on my own voice on my own accord. That's a great interesting you say, like, because that was something people most excited for was their favorite characters just kind of coming back, and the surprise is like I remember like Swedish Chef is Samuel Seabury. People were really nobody's really expecting. There were Elmo to come up as Charles Lee. Elmo's a general. So yeah, no, I was really happy to provide all these everybody's big role. But no, that's how it was done. It was just really done. I would sing along to the music and karaoke style, pretty much.
That's really cool. Really interesting. I saw videos of you actually playing piano. So do you actually play music as well?
No, the Can You Feel the Love Tonight? If I was on my most recent video.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh shoot, because you do more than just Muppet voices too.
Playing piano. I joke. It was a joke. I'm just kind of mashing the buttons. When I was in elementary school, all the way to high school, I played violin. I'm not a very good violinist, but I did play. And it's funny, I have no singing training whatsoever.
Really?
I have zero profession. I'm a comedian. I used to unfortunately. I do stand-up comedy in New York on a pretty regular basis. I do like maybe 2 or 3 shows a week if I'm lucky. Open mics. And then and then like a show a week. So that was another thing. I probably should have mentioned this. Like, I have a bit in real life I do where I sing the Muppets doing Les Mis. Like,
do you hear the Muppets sing?
That's also like a little like a nugget of where this idea came from was that was the first set I ever did in New York City, because I did because my college, I went to Emerson College. They're a pretty comedy heavy college. They have a lot of sketch comedy troops. They have a TV station, so a lot of television shows that do comedy, and they had like an open mic every month that I would do and do kind of wacky stuff. But that Muppet Singing Les Mis was my first time in New York City doing an open mic, and that killed. So it was it's a standard piece I try to do a lot.
That's really cool. It's interesting to see where something is stand up got to be so blown up through the musical scene.
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting intersection, because there's people that appreciate this on a comedic level, like they like the actual jokes. There's also people on the theater level who enjoy just like the insanity of it, to hear like what?
Like, I didn't know I wanted to hear this, but now that I heard it,
yeah, exactly.
I gotta let everyone else know about it.
Yeah,
guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you listen to it and then share the hell out of it.
Yes, please. I've had people, and you have and I think the thing that's most exciting to me personally has been the fan art.
Yes,
we did a fan art contest, actually. We just finished it up, and we got winners and some runner-ups. But man, even before we started that contest, I was getting like dozens of fan art on from Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. That was the most touching, to know like art that I made has like inspired other people to make their own art. That you can't put a price on that. That is hands down the best. That's the best part of this whole experience, was knowing that it's like just creating this almost kind of community element.
Well,
that's what I'm probably most proud of.
That's awesome. And I say, as a creator, there's one of the other times that sticks out prominent to me is I don't know if you are a D&D person, but Critical Role, they have a huge fandom, and one of their big things is that they share the art that their fans will draw of stuff that they act out and have done.
Oh, that's so cool.
So to see that happen to your stuff, I'm like, that's awesome, because I know how those diehard fans can be, and it's just that you have something that's so fun. And I mean, who doesn't want to draw the Muppets as a musical?
Exactly. It's fun,
It makes sense as to why it doesn't do it before. And before, when I first found this, part of me was like, wait, is this something that Disney's gonna do? And were they like testing the waters? Because your voices are really, your voices are really good.
Oh, thank you so much. It is an unofficial parody, but I have had people like in the comments say,
like Disney should take
petition to do this. Disney should do this. Like, replace the Hall of Presidents with this. Okay, that would be interesting. I give it my blessing if they ever want to make this into a full-fledged thing. I'd be honored. It would be. Can't even describe what that'd be like.
I think if Disney was to make a new Muppets movie or something fun, they wouldn't be stupid to look into this. Especially with yes. Well, I mean, even if they were to look at it as like, all right, maybe they're going to redo the soundtrack and they want to have the pull in their actors. But I mean, they can look at this and they can show your numbers spiked and you pulled in a following for a reason. You just did the whole test market. You literally just threw it out there like, hey, in case you were thinking of if anyone would like it, they would.
I can check my residuals. Can I check those residuals, by the way?
Yeah.
But yes, it's been very exciting just to see the success it took off. And I guess something else. And then there's also like, we're talking about the theater people and also the comedy people. There's also the Muppet people that and they can be a little, you gotta
really,
if you're dealing with the Muppets, they're a little hard to impress, but a lot of them have really been very, very supportive. I don't know if you're a big YouTube. Defunctland had reached out and really they loved it, and they're a big Henson Disney channel. And I've had like a lot of people who grew up with the Muppets and really been like very, very supportive, like things that almost like maybe want to tear up, like, man, Jim Henson would be so proud if he saw this. Like, oh, don't do this to me.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, I think Jim Henson's a part of all of our lives, part of all of our childhoods in some way or another.
Definitely.
I mean,
no question.
Muppets of Treasure Island was like, that was
classic.
That was me growing up. I loved it. I mean, all of them.
Absolutely.
you're speaking of different voices you do voice acting. What are some of the roles that you have done in? If you can kind of quickly tell us, like, how did you get into voice acting?
Voice acting, it's a funny story. When I was at Emerson, I did a summer session in Los Angeles. They're stationed in Boston, Massachusetts, but they have a satellite school in L.A. And I had an internship. It was an all right internship, but not really fulfilling. So when I got out there, like, I need to do something real. Like, I need to do something that's gonna keep me busy. I need a project. Mm-hmm. And so I looked into finding a voice actor coach out in LA, and I found one. I went into her, she had a home studio. I went to her house out in Burbank, and it was, this is going to be good. And I walked in, and her name is, are you a voice actor person at all, Anthony?
To an extent, depends.
Okay, I walked in, and my coach was Debbie Derryberry, who's the voice of Jimmy Neutron. So.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So she mentored me for the entire summer. She's still my mentor. She's been incredibly supportive. Sent me in the right direction in terms of where to look for jobs. I joined a couple of pay-to-play sites. Did some freelancing work, and I've been doing voice acting for a semi-professional level, for about I would say 5 years now. I started up in late 2015, and have been going since. I've done a lot of a wide variety of jobs as a voice actor. I did one of my first big gigs was a nationally aired commercial where it was for a James Patterson's children's book called Word of Mouse. And I played the mouse. Hey, kids, buy Word of Mouse this Christmas. It's going to be a blast. Your parents will love it, too. Kind of like a New York mouse. I was in a Geico commercial, but that was actually live action. I nailed the live action role. It was for the Puppy Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, the Puppy Bowl animal plant at Geico. A lot of fun. I've also voiced did a lot of internet stuff. Like I played a chair one time it was a marketing company, and the woman was having so much success because of her marketing company. She was always up and about, so she could never sit down anymore, and her chair was mad that, why don't you sit on me anymore? Okay. Alrighty. I've done a lot of some video games as well. I work with Everbloom Studios, which is a great they do Minecraft DLCs, so any gamers out there, I've done some Minecraft maps. They had one called Trickster's Dreamland, where I played the trickster. Yes, indeed, going to a nightmare land. I did Mr. Trickster. I did that one. Probably one of my best and one I'm most proud of. I did a short film, Wish Weasel, which was actually a puppet. I'm the Wish Weasel. So I did the puppeteering for Wish Weasel, as well as the voice of Wish Weasel. That got pretty high on the festival circuit. It went to, I want to say, like 30 or so festivals.
That's really cool.
It made its way, actually, believe it or not. The creator, Dan McNamara, who's a good friend of mine, he pitched it to Adult Swim, and they showed the trailer for it on Adult Swim one night. So,
really?
We don't know, knock on wood, but
at
hopefully
some point, may.
Yeah. So that's a really exciting project. I was very happy to be a part of that one, Wish Weasel. I have a project in development now of another short independent movie where I played a very eccentric robot who talked like this. Master, dinner is prepared. And a lot of and in the mix of between the kind of fun stuff, you do have your kind of information-driven things like, what's a good one? Smoking. Even secondhand smoking can be a danger. Talk to your stuff like that.
Stuff like that. But still, this shows that there's a full range of roles out there, voices and characters that are open for you to get into, to become. And then just, there's the not so much fun jobs.
Narration-based jobs, we'll say.
Which I'm sure there's a need for all of it.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
No.
So I've had a lot of, I've had some relative success in voice acting. Hopefully that continues. And we'll see if maybe Hamilton Muppets, hey, you're the Muppets and Hamilton guy. Come here. Want you to have our people call you people. Have our people call you Muppets. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's really cool. Before we wrap up, let's see. Before we wrap up, do you have anything else that you want to push that we can share before?
Now I was on YouTube.
What you're up to and what you're going on? What's going on now?
I just today did another gig, so that should be coming out soon. Take a look from that. I think it's called. Hang on one second. Oh, you know what? And this might be a secret project, so I'm gonna keep my lid on it just in case I don't get in trouble. NDAs, you know what I say. But I have projects coming up. Please look up Wish Weasel. Wish Weasel is very funny. If you like puppeteering, if you like sci-fi, if you like wacky, crazy stuff, look up Wish Weasel. Look at my YouTube channel. It's Ricky Downs III. Very easy to find. I have a lot of. We're going to be doing more impression videos, more information. Probably some Muppet Hamilton extras down the line, most likely. So please share and subscribe. I
want to see. How do we get impressions of Muppets doing Green Day?
Oh, yes, of course. Wake me up when September ends.
Well, oh yeah.
Don't want to be an American idiot. Want to be an American diva. Mwah, kissy, kissy.
I had to bring out the Queen at one point.
Oh, Miss Piggy. Ricky, thank you. Oh, man. Funny, and you got the voices, and hey, we're both wearing green. Thank you.
It's not easy being green.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to see what else can come out. What else you got ready to put out? I'm going to check out Wish Weasel.
Yes,
all of you listening, head on over to YouTube, search it up. Head over to Ricky's page, Ricky Downs the Third, or is just Ricky Downs?
Searching Ricky Downs the Third.
Yeah, you'll find it. And if you want, I'm going to be dropping some links. I'll be resharing some stuff on Facebook and Instagram. Check them out. Check out Vinyl Divers Podcast. And before I do the final sign off, I have a little bit that I want to do. It's a shout out to all of the hardworking podcasters, a part of the network at BICBP Radio Network. I don't know if you guys got to see this live or got to listen in, but last week, I did a special on the Facebook page, and it was shared through an event page that we put on. It's called the Western New York WNY PodCon Showcase. And we brought in almost 30 different shows to put out there and just be a part of something great, to show this awesome community of hard workers that all came together and did a bunch of live shows and are dropping content nonstop. So for me, I don't ask for much for Vinyl Divers other than heading over to Ricky Downs' page, wherever he is on the layout. I can't remember where he is. I don't know. He's somewhere. Go over to his page, wherever he is. Go follow him, like him, share his videos. Go watch the Hamilton video with the Muppets, and then head on over to the network. Check out some of the podcasts. Head over to their Facebook page. Show love, follow, support. And until then, guys, keep diving.
TTFN. Well, sorry. That's a Tigger. So I apologize for that. We'll see you next time on the Muppet Show. Yay!